Alright, so Johnny Be Good. Well, this film is absolutely terrible. I love Uma Thurman. I could go on for hours about how great she is, but this film is absolutely terrible. And you know what's really interesting? She actually slammed this movie herself, saying, "Oh, it's terrible, it's horrible, it's just not very good." And she didn't like her part in it either. And I have to disagree with her role in it for what she thinks of it because I actually like her in this movie. I think she plays a good part and she is funny in one scene, and it shows promise from that one scene. This could be a good movie, but in the hands of the person that's been directed and the way it's been put together, no, not on this occasion. So basically, the storyline is somewhat confusing and doesn't really go anywhere. It's about some boy. Do you remember the boy who was in The Breakfast Club? A really great film. Well, what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. I don't remember his name. I know I shouldn't be like this. But anyway, going on. So, watching this film, I hadn't seen The Breakfast Club. And I thought, oh, well, that's a really bad performance that he gave in this movie. Johnny B. Good. I mean, he's fantastic in Breakfast Club, fantastic. Really, really good. But here, it sucked, and I wondered, is he just a bad actor, or I mean, I hadn't seen Breakfast Club, and then I watched Breakfast Club. I was like, no, I'm completely wrong. He's great. It's just this is a bad movie, and it didn't work. Obviously. So, like I said, the storyline is Johnny is some football player star and trying to become something, and the plot sort of goes to the extent of Uma Thurman and him get together for a bit, and then that sort of goes all the way. It just goes away, flies away out into the skies and never seen ever. And then there's a bit on when he's possibly going to get a shot of becoming more than something than he obviously already is. And then he goes off with some 40-year-old woman, which I just found a little bit disgusting. And then he goes back to the film to try and, sort stuff out there and try and be together with her. But then, no, that doesn't happen. And she basically just says, "You're an asshole," and throws some meat at him. That's the only scene in the film I like. And I think the extent of me liking the film is Uma Thurman. She's good. I like that one scene. Um, and I like a nacho hat they have. That's about it. This is the extent to which you can like things that are shown in this film and put together in. I mean, for one, the extras are just absolutely horrible on like every single level. You think, oh my god, how could people be so annoying? I just did the director tell them to be that annoying? I mean, I can't believe it. It's just unbearable. Watching it, I was just like, oh my god, they're the most annoying extras ever in mankind. Oh. And there's a plot, well, it's supposed to be a plot with Uma Thurman's dad as a cop, and then he's like, "Yeah, you can't be with my girl." And then they do like a little football game. It's like, "Oh well, if you lose, then you don't get to have your girl." And then obviously the opposite way, the opposite happened. Blah, blah. But then the problem I have with this film is it's just so terrible, like unbelievably terrible on the level of oh, that stank so bad. And I just wonder what on earth someone would have thought to think, oh, you know what, this would be a good film. Because it's an absolute turkey from start to finish. Robert Downey Jr. is in this movie, and he sucks in this movie. And you know why? Well, here's the thing. I like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. He's shown that he can be a very good actor, even though at first I wasn't that bothered by him and then grew on him. But in this film, he's on drugs. This is from the 80s when he was like in jail and he was doing drugs. And then in the film, you can actually see him doing like stuff with his eyes and moving his eyes. Going, and, it's really like bizarre. I mean, I don't understand how that even got into the editing room. And I thought, okay, yeah, this is fine. It's not. And it's just. Why? This is just so terrible. The whole thing. I mean, I watched it and thought, you know what, that's a 0-star film. It's that terrible. And I just really find it kind of like, wow. I mean, that is just really incredibly awful. And I do like Uma Thurman. She's been in good movies. She's been in some crappy ones, about five crappy ones, and after that they're all interesting. You know, some of them quite good, some of them are brilliant, some of them are pretty damn good. But this is not one of those pretty damn good or brilliant or quite good movies. This is absolutely abominable. It's just I don't understand why anyone would have to sit through this filming. Why? I mean, even though the fact that I had to sit through it, it's a bit like, oh, well, of course, now you sat through it, so the rest of the world would have to suffer, and everyone on this earth has to see this terrible film. And it's really interesting because I think the filmmakers actually acknowledge this is a shit film. Because in the film, Uma Thurman and Johnny are at this drive-in theater, and then there's this cop who comments on this film's being shit. You know, this film's basically shit, I mean. And they're watching. It's like, 1098, this film's shit. I was like, yeah, that's really interesting, because I'm watching a film that's shit. It is the same film you're watching, so I'm pretty sure it is. Oh my god. Oh, it's just, oh, why? Oh, why? And there's this other whole thing that later on that he comes back to town. He's never gonna be anything. Nothing happens in this film. It's been like it starts off and oh, Johnny be good and become better football player, and it descends to the point of oh, let's have a parade because he's done nothing for the entire movie. It's like oh yeah, because there's a bit where he goes to Los Angeles and there's a parade, like I say, and you just just shaking your head, thinking what? This is absolutely terrible. And yeah, I don't think I really have any more much to say really. It's a terrible film. Do not watch it. Do not rent it. Do not buy it. Just no. Just stay away. It's absolutely terrible. Zero.